Wow. Pies win by 3 points. Shot after the siren, Mitch McGovern, circa that game against Adelaide, we were up by 10 goals. And then Mitch McGovern takes that mark from that exact same position essentially and slots it in to draw the game back then. So obviously the trauma was coming back to this moment where we were up by 32 points in Pendles' 400th game. I felt sick. And I'm enjoying it because he missed. And we get the fairy tale story that Scott Pendlebury deserves. And now he's won another milestone game, only lost one of them. Meanwhile, Collingwood have won 10 of the last 12 games against Carlton. Collingwood have had their fair share of adversities against Carlton back in the 80s and 90s. I feel sorry for the current generation of Carlton fans, but for us, we get to sort of soak it in. Let me see if this is focused. Up close and personal today. Pendles, game 400. Man, the content was out of this world for him this week. And we truly got to appreciate Pendles. And if we haven't already, we did it furthermore this week, as he deserves it. Does he get the 3 votes? 28 disposals, 9 clearances, 14 contested possessions, nearly kicks goal of the year. He had no right to kick that goal, and he nearly did. Did he do anything wrong? He had 5 turnovers, but I didn't see them. He looked untouchable. He looked slippery in the contest. How are you 36, Pendles, and you're doing that? Look at me, how are you doing that? I don't understand. What you do, nobody can do. Nobody's ever been able to do. Dance out of contests, running at a pace so slow that, my dead great-grandpa could catch you down on. And you manage to maneuver your way out of those contests and mirage plays. That's what I love about Pendles the most, because it's such a highly sought-after skill that it doesn't come down to how well you use the ball, it comes down to your awareness and composure. Is it his basketball background? It was a Pies footy way win relative to how we play against Carlton. It's contested, it's heated, it's close, it's in the clinches of the contest. And statistically, we're not a great contested ball side. Haven't been in years. And Carlton are the number 1 side in recent years. But for some reason, when Pendles stands next to Cripps and Dacos stands next to Walsh and Crisp chimes in, we just have their number. That's all it comes down to. It's like with Hawthorn, guys. We're a better side than Hawthorn. Maybe not right now, but for a large part of the last few years, we've been a better side than them, but they always give us grief. That's the truth. But when a team has your number psychologically and you match up well, stats don't matter. Styles make fights. We kept them in our front half. They couldn't move the ball. Our defence looks so much better when we can defend from the front rather than having to run back towards our own goal. That's been a problem this year. We've been forced to defend running back, and that doesn't work. The best defenders will get found out, unless your name is Jacob Wiedering. Wow. Some last quarter he had. I have to mention it. He is one of the only defenders in this league that doesn't play loose and still intercepts the ball at a high rate. Like we appreciate Pendlebury, we have to almost appreciate Jacob Wiedering almost as much. I say that loosely, but he's one of the best defenders to step a field on the AFL grounds for as long as I can remember. He is him. And he nearly single-handedly got on them over the line and kept the ball in their front half for the majority of that last quarter. Time in forward half would have been heavily in Carlton's favour that quarter. And like I said, they were moving the ball. Their uncontested ball play was there. They were plus 70 in uncontested possessions. But the difference between that stat compared to when we got smashed in uncontested possessions against Geelong, Essendon, Hawthorn was we defended well within our zone and we kept them passing backwards, looking for their quarterback. And then they'd reset and we'd be well set up, and they had no answer. They didn't have any handball receives. Hawthorn, they work the ball up, but once they get to a certain point, yeah, sweet, handball receive, let's get the ball rolling, let's make Collingwood defend running backwards. Carlton didn't do that for the whole game. Carlton did not do that for the whole game. And it's chalk and cheese, today's performance compared to the last month or so. That's the incredible thing. And the Pies aren't done yet. They showed us today that they care. We knew they cared, but you got to win and perform like this to show us how much it really means to you. How personal do you take the fall off from last year to this year? And they showed it today. And as I said in the post-game show, I can go to bed tonight happy with solace, knowing that we beat Carlton twice this year. And Carlton could be moving on to bigger and better things this year. That's the truth. They're probably going to play finals. We need to still do a lot of things right before we even talk about that. But to win it for Scott Pendlebury is huge. I love that. I love that. Pendlebury. Can he beat Boomer's record? So he needs to play the rest of next year, right? And then the year after, a couple games in the year after to beat Boomer's record. Get him there. Plays games like this. He's still relevant in the AFL world. He has a skill that nobody else has, is to be able to evade the way he does. I loved did you guys notice how well we absorbed the tackles and were able to get our disposal out despite being tackled by the Carlton players? And then, do you remember in the fourth quarter, late in the game, we held in our tackles in the sense that when we got the ball, we were able to bring it in and absorb the tackle and concede the stoppage. So when we had the ball and we got tackled, we were still able to dispose of it. And when we had the ball and we wanted to hold it in to create a repeat stoppage to help us set up, we did that to a T as well. Which is a positive far cry, compared to how we haven't been able to stick tackles in recent times. I'd like to know the stat. How many broken tackles did Collingwood accumulate tonight? But it was another close call, wasn't it? It was another close call. We were 32 points up. It's the true Pies way. Am I out of focus? Hello. Hopefully not. 1 second, guys. Sorry, bear with me. So, yeah, we'll talk about it another day. Let's enjoy the win. We nearly let a big lead slip once again. But let's just enjoy this one. Seriously. We're probably not going to be able to fix that till next year, let's be honest. It's not something we're going to be able to fix overnight. We got the win. Hoskin Elliott. Man, when he plays games like he did tonight, 20 possessions, 2 goals, contested marks, leading up like a true forward, strong hands. He can be I'm serious when I say this, he could be the best third key tall forward. Sorry, let me say that again, just cook that. He could be the best third key tall forward in the league on his day, but he lacks that consistency. That's his knock. And that's, to be fair, that's the greatest challenge. Consistency, that's what every player is looking at. But we see it enough from Hoskin Elliott. It's like, okay, we see it once every 6 to 8 weeks, these games. Can we get more from that? At the same time, playing devil's advocate, he's always been moved around. Playing on the wing, playing in the back line, playing in the forward line. So it's one of those ones where it's like, okay, can you expect continuity from someone when they're constantly being moved? And it's a perfect segue into Billy Frampton. Came into the squad, played unreal in the Brisbane game, played well in the St Kilda game, intercept marking for fun, intercept possessions. He had 7 intercept possessions tonight, a game high for Collingwood. He got moved to the forward line at some point in his stint earlier in the season, like obviously a few weeks ago. North Melbourne game, a couple games before that. And now he comes back in and styles make fights. Mackay, or Frampton, better yet, has Mackay's number to a certain extent. That intercept mark deep in the goal square, where he takes that intercept mark and drops Mackay at the same time, man, what a world of good that does for Frampton's confidence. I'll be the first to say, guys, I'm here. I've knocked Frampton this season, I'll be honest. Am I off him yet? Do I let him off? Maybe not, because I feel like Kruger was out. I thought Kruger would be the next best person before Frampton, before Dean. And I don't think Dean would be a suitable matchup for Mackay when Darcy Moore is occupied by Curnow. So Frampton comes in, and it's a step towards vindication for Frampton. And if he plays well, man, plays like that, he makes the team every week. Consistency is the key. Curnow, Mackay, one goal between the two? Curnow, I think he was on a 60-game streak for a goal every game. Last 60 games, Charlie Curnow has kicked a goal. He kicked 0 tonight. Wow. And Mackay kicked 1 goal. He kicked the belter, by the way. Probably goal of the game, to be fair to him. Nick Dacos for Brownlow, anyone? 28 disposals, 15 contested possessions, a goal, clutch goal. He's him. And I don't know, how did Walshy go? Because I feel like he has Walsh's number as well when it comes to these games. I saw Walsh. I did see Walsh, so I'm not going to lie. He had 30 disposals. He had 6 tackles, just the 1 clearance. Nick Dacos had 7 clearances. Let me repeat that. Sam Walsh had 1 clearance. Nick Dacos had 7. So that's the problem there. I said it's a midfield battle in the preview. Nick Dacos versus Walsh. Cripps versus Pendlebury. Cripps' appreciation needs to be there. What do you have? 30, a goal, 7 clearances himself. So he lifted. And he's in Brownlow form as well. So Nick Dacos is going to have to worry about that on the night. And we said, for Nick Dacos to be truly considered for Brownlow, we need to be winning more games towards the back end of the year. And we've started that. So if finals aren't a thing for us at some point, at least we have the Brownlow to look forward to. We talk about what can we latch onto from a week-to-week basis. And that's Dacos Brownlow. But for now, we're in the hunt for fucking finals still. Love Darcy Moore's game and Maynard's game. They didn't necessarily intercept mark the ball. They didn't necessarily intercept the ball possession-wise. But did they throw their body at everything? Wow. And Darcy Moore, when you're not marking the ball, but you can do that, fuck, you take that, don't you? Maynard putting his body on the line. What's new? What's new? Yeah. It just feels good to see a game like this. Feels good. After the last 6 weeks, the fall off, the media, just feels like we can breathe for a second and enjoy this for a couple of days. What else have I got for you? Bobby Hill. Bobby Hill was great, but he still had an almost game. He had an almost Norm Smith game. 1 goal for, 2 goal assists. He's got so much potential. He's a great player and he still has so much more potential. He has so much more to give. After overcoming a testicular cancer bout, he's here. What a story. Bobby Hill. I don't know, what do you think? Great player, maybe lacks a bit of consistency, but I always fall back on consistency is the missing recipe for a lot of players. But Bobby Hill was unreal tonight. There was a big reason why Collingwood won. And he's must-see footy, isn't he? He's must-see footy. Assist magician. Goal assist magician, in my opinion. Crisp, when Jack Crisp plays well and is steamrolling with the ball, Collingwood look like such a better side. When he holds in the tackles, sticks the tackles, connects in the transition, in the ball movement sequences, We're a better side. We are. He makes a big difference. Darcy Cameron. Intercept marks, contested marks, clearances. How many clearances? Did he lead the game in clearances? It felt like no. George Hewitt led the game in clearances. Darcy Cameron had 2. I felt like he had more than that. Next question. Never mind. Yeah. We can talk about players for days. Mason Cox, aura. Got a bit of grit about him as well. Gets into players. That's what I love about American sport. They are not reluctant to express themselves on the field. Don't be a robot. Be yourself. If people don't like it, tell them where to go. Australian culture frowns upon these type of characteristics, bravado, persona. Give us something, and I love that from Mason Cox. De Goey heartbreak, unfortunately, with the hamstring. Is he done for the year? Maybe. He was looking like he was going to... He could have taken the 3 Brownlow votes if he kept playing. 2 goals, 15 touches. Looked ominous. Bo McCreary, welcome back. How many tackles? 4 tackles. Just pressure. All of this while Jamie Elliott didn't do much on the night. Collingwood win. We beat Carlton for the 2nd time this year. We're still a chance. We've got Sydney next week. They just got pumped by 112 points against Port Adelaide. Hello? What's going on there? Does that mean we get Sydney at the best time possible or at the worst time possible? If you're still here till the end, let me know. Do we get Sydney at a good time because of that loss, or is it a bad time? Or is it both? Go Pies.